Welcome to another edition of a Brobdingnagian Minute. How long is a Brobdingnagian Minute? Well, it's about 500 miles. And why do I say 500 miles? Because like Star Wars, we can mix up distance and time in our speech because we're cool like that.
Oh, I thought you were going through, I would walk 500 miles.
I was waiting for you to do that.
Okay, good.
Because I'm 500 miles away from home. I'm in New Orleans right now instead of Austin.
Oh, nice.
For the Louisiana Renaissance Festival.
Excellent. That's true.
So, that's 500 miles, just so you know. Yeah.
So did you walk it?
Hell no. Yeah. If I ever meet the girl that inspires me to walk that 500 miles, well, let's just say I haven't met the girl yet.
All right, welcome to the Brobdingnagian Bards podcast. I'm Mark Gunn. And I can't speak.
And I'm the pronounceable Andrew McKee.
And today we're going to talk about the top 5 Bard songs for your D&D campaign. But first, we need to talk about let's talk about upcoming shows and maybe what's new, aside from your big news that we're going to save for after the top 5. Okay?
All right. Yes.
So what about your upcoming shows? Well, I guess you have an upcoming show that you're at tomorrow.
Right. I'm doing, I just did the first weekend of the Louisiana Ren Faire, and I've got 5 more weekends to go. So going through the middle of December, that's what I'm up to. Excellent.
And that'll keep you busy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's 5 straight weekends. Oh, next week is going to be Hell Week is what I call it. It includes student days.
Oh yeah. The student days.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and during the week is Fair days as well. So it's going to be crazy. So it's like, wow. In 9 days, you've got 7 days of Fair.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
fun.
Especially the laundry. Anyway,
how did the first weekend go?
It was good. The first day was a little rainy. But if we got that out of the way, first day, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Second day was fine. Good weather and, a decent crowd. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad for a first weekend, just rainy on the opening day, which was unfortunate. But this weekend, it's going to be a little chilly in the 60s, but nice. It should be. I'm okay with that. 60s are great.
Perfect for fair weather in my mind.
It's low 60s, so I wish it would. For me, I prefer mid to upper 60s.
Yeah.
But I'm a Southern boy who lives in the heat, so I'm a little spoiled that way. Yeah. But it'll be okay. Anything, if it's above 50, I can do music. It's no problem. 50 degrees is like that cutoff for when your fingers start to not move as fast.
Right. That's good. Well, then that should be a fun time coming up. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm a little jealous. I got a text message from someone at the fair, and they were saying they sent me something unrelated, but immediately I was like, Louisiana Ren Faire, I miss you.
I still get people asking every once in a while if is Mark at the fair this year?
Yeah. So, alas.
Yeah, and I say no.
No, he's not.
No, he took those threats seriously. No, I'm kidding.
What? Hey, whoa.
No. I know you'd love to be out at the fair, but having kids is not. It makes things a little difficult.
I gotta say, I am loving the fact that most of my gigs are here in Atlanta now. I mean, I'm kind of done with the heavy touring, unless it's
a single weekend kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, it's interesting because you've always been that way in a way. I remember one of the rules when we toured was you couldn't be away for more than a week and a half, pretty much.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was definitely a period when I wanted to, early on, and this was before we were ready. Right. I wanted to do some real touring where, we would, I don't know, do a few weeks at a time, but that quickly ended at some point, and I just never got back to wanting to go that route anymore. So
was that because you just are not you just the grind of touring is not your jam, or
I think
it's just situational?
I think the situational thing was because of once I had cats, I was like, I don't want to spend it. So that certainly didn't help. But I don't know. It just is like a switch flipped, and all of a sudden I was like, and now that I have kids, I'm like, I want to be with my family. I love being with my family, and if we're going to do fun things, I'd like to do it with my family, So we're talking
There's
about
always the Partridge Family approach, hey, I mean, get them all doing music and.
Well, interestingly, I've been working. I'm teaching in Nara how to play guitar, and so I've picked up the guitar for the first time in 25 years, and I'm learning how to play it myself, relearning how to play it myself, and already a bazillion times better than I was back then.
Well, you're a better musician because of all.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of it's like the finger work is the big thing. So I was listening to a podcast, and this guy was talking about playing the guitar, and he said that the thing that makes a good guitarist versus a great guitarist is the flourishes. You can, people who are strumming guitars, that's good. But when you can add the little licks that the little flourishes at the end, all of a sudden that takes you to a new level. And that's what I'm doing, is that since I'm picking the guitar, I don't really play with a pick. I use my fingers. All of a sudden I'm like using my fingers just like I use my autoharp, the fingers on my autoharp, and I pluck out some sounds. And so it comes up with a completely different sound, and it's kind of cool and a little bit bluesy right now, at least, which I really love. And so I wrote my first guitar song actually a few weeks back, and I'm still learning to play it because my fingers aren't quite there yet. But nevertheless, I'm like, this is cool. I'm learning how to play this thing. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Okay.
So, but as for me, as for shows, I have a Bandcamp show. It's going to be happening on Wednesday, November 16th. November 19th, I have 2 shows, 3 Taverns Brewery and Iron Shield Brewing. Both are in the Atlanta area, Decatur and Lawrenceville, respectively.
Wait, you have 2 shows on the same day?
Yeah.
Wow. That's in separate cities? What the?
They're about 45 minutes apart. So one is at 12 to 1:30 and the other one's from 7 to 10. So, it was originally booked at Iron Shield, and then because of circumstances, the show got canceled. And then because of circumstances, some fans hired me to come back there. Actually, the circumstances being ASCAP. Yes. What does ASCAP make you think of, Andrew?
Fascists? What?
Yeah. So back, what was it? Sweet Eugene's that was closed down once upon a time because of ASCAP. ASCAP is a performing rights organization, and what they do is they collect royalties from local venues so that they can pay their artists if they're cover songs and such. And so a lot of bands, they play cover songs, and therefore they have to pay a certain amount of royalties for that reason. Now, Iron Shield ran into this a few months back where ASCAP came knocking and said, hey, you owe us money. And so end of September, they canceled all future shows because of that. And they had some other issues apparently, which didn't help as well. But yes, so because of that, all my shows were canceled, and I was booked on November 19th. And that turns out it's a birthday of a friend of one of our fans. They are having a birthday. So they said, what if we hired you to come play there?
Oh, yeah, private party. There you go.
And don't do it as a you don't have to most of the songs I do are not cover songs. They're either traditional, public domain, or original. So I said, let's do that. And so, yeah. Long story short, I'm there. But at the meantime, Three Taverns Brewery is doing a festival, and they wanted me to kick it off. So I'm going to be there in the early afternoon, and then others will take over later. Yeah, it's going to be a busy day.
Yeah, God, that reminds me of the old days when we used to St. Patrick's Day. We did 6 shows in a day or something?
I don't even remember how many.
We started at 9:45 a.m. and at the bookstore, and then boom, boom, boom all day long.
It was insane.
That was insane. That was nuts.
So then December 2nd, I'm going to be at Lost Druid. December 10th, Pontoon Brewing in Sandy Springs. And then back at 3 taverns on December 17th. So I've got a lot of shows.
Yeah, you got a weekly gig as well, pretty much. So I get it.
Yeah. And I am doing something also, which is neat and interesting. My store, I have my Bandcamp store where you can get tickets for my Celt Father Live concert. That's, by the way, no. I'm closing up the shop on November 18th. I finally came to the decision that I've never been a fan of the whole consumerism of Black Friday and such. And so I decided that to close up my shop throughout basically Thanksgiving holidays. So November 18th, I'm closing it up. I'm going to open it up in December 1st, but I'm still only going to keep it up for a short period of time because I'm like, I just kind of want to change the way I do some of my sales in my store and not have, you can't get everything all the time. It's it'll be on a limited period, and then which makes it a little bit more special and a little bit easier for me to say, "Hey, go to my store. It's only open this period," which kind of helps as well. But the big point was, I don't want to do the Black Friday thing or the Cyber Monday. I want to have the store at other times. So, and someone else was saying about you could it's a good way to lower your environmental impact too if you're piling all your shipping at a certain period of time. So I was like, that makes a lot of sense to me too, which is where the idea originally came from.
Well, cool.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready to go on with today's topic, the actual topic that we had lined up?
I'm sorry. I'm still amazed that we actually had a real topic. So yeah, let's do it.
All right.
An official topic. Wow.
So I came up with this the other day, and I was thinking about what are your top 5 bard songs for your D&D campaign. So now it's been probably 2 months, but 2 months ago, I posted this question to our Facebook page. I asked people to list a whole bunch of their songs. I think it came out to about 18 or 19 songs that people said, these would be great for the D&D campaign. And then I ran it through a ranked choice voting, and I had people vote for their favorites. Do you think you can explain what ranked choice voting is, Andrew?
No, I'll let you do it.
Dang you. Okay. I can totally do this. Okay, so one of the reasons why I came up with this thing, wanted to use this, is because a lot of people don't know what ranked choice voting is. And it is a different way to vote. And I know there are several political states that are using, and cities that use ranked choice voting in order to hold their elections. And what I like about it is that it's something that's designed to basically reduce extremists from winning votes and such. So the way it works is basically you are given a list of things or whatever, in this case, songs. You get a list of songs and then you rank them in order of preference. So the most popular song, if the most popular song is, well, let's just go I feel like we should go through the top 5 songs in order to actually describe this, but I'm not sure if that's the best way to go about this or not. Andrew, what do you think?
Well, I mean, here's how it works. I mean, if most people are going to say or a lot of people are going to say that this song is the best, right? Because everybody loves this song. So there's going to be one or a handful of songs that everybody loves. They're always going to hit the top 3 because on this ranked choice, they get the most number 1 votes or whatever. And that's sort of how it works. I mean, what it does is the most popular ones are always they're going to get their placement and it's going to be perfectly legit. What gets weird though is those like the number 3, number 5, number 8 songs, those sometimes those can be a little weird and skewed because people put a lot of preference on that number 1 and number 2. They really care about that, and they really put a lot of thought. The others, it doesn't always make as much sense. Sometimes you start getting a little more. I kind of like this one, so we'll put that as number 4, so you'll sometimes get some weird skewed results after the first few. The first 5 are probably right, but it can be a little crazy. This is not a new concept. It's been done in many different places and elections and voting and all of that for a while. I mean, in football, for instance, the AP poll, the Associated Press poll, where sportscasters, sports writers, they vote on who they think the best football teams are in the country, and they get ranked. That used to be how teams who was voted as number one in the country in college football. And they've changed it a little while ago into a slightly more computerized poll, but that's still pretty recent. I mean, and the AP poll is still an influence in that to an extent. So yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting that what they do is they list their top 25, and then based on how many votes everybody gets, that lists who's in what order. Yeah. But it's been tested for decades, and I've noticed that, and that the first few are usually always right. After that, sometimes it gets a little weird. Yeah, so I don't entirely remember exactly how this functions, but I do know, I don't know if they cut it down, if you have your number one spot might be, have say 40%, but the number two song has 38%, but because the number three song is in more of the three spots, it could basically boost it up to the number one slot. Mm-hmm. Does that sound like right the way I'm describing that, Andrew? Kind of. I mean, if I'm understanding it correctly.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that it does is it basically gives an option. So if you have one person or one song that's at 38%, but pretty much it's the number 20 on everyone else's list, but just that one song for a decent number of people, but not a majority. Well, then the number two song could basically become the number one because it's has a greater value overall. I think that's right. So it's a fascinating concept, and I feel like it'd be a very useful thing for politics. And I feel like more and more places are taking interest in this in order to basically, moderate, add a little bit more moderation to our political system, which I love personally. Which I know not everyone's going to agree with.
You don't think our political system is fine the way it is? I'm shocked.
Shocked, I tell you. There's gambling in this institution.
Oh, good Casablanca reference. I like it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So in any case, that being said, we did this ranked choice voting with our songs, and there was a whole huge list. And we're going to do a breakdown from number 5 to number 1 to list our top 5 Bard songs for your D&D campaign. This is the music you should be playing for your D&D campaign. Are you ready, Andrew?
I'm ready.
All right. You can start it off.
Okay. Number 5 is A Prudent Thief. Now, a prudent thief, which I think is...
I feel like that should be, honestly, that is definitely, of the list, that to me would be one of the top ones. Because it's
the most gaming.
Yeah, it's the most gaming, and it's the most Faire type thing you do.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the lyrics were for a computer game, a fantasy-based computer game. That's it wasn't used. And the writer posted them online, and Cindy Vanis, and said, "Oh, hey, I wrote this for Sierra Games, and the game never got made, but I really liked it, so here you go." And I printed it out and made a version of it. But it was just, it is. I mean, it checks all the boxes for this is a gaming song. Yeah. So I'm really glad it's on there. If it hadn't been, I honestly would have demanded a recount. So yeah.
Well, we can always do a recount. In fact, I will say.
Don't say that. There might be some Republicans listening.
I will. That's not really what I meant in that. It would also help if one of the things about ranked choice voting is you do need people, actually lots of people voting, and I feel like I gave us a very limited window for voting on this.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we could use more people being involved in the voting system. So.
But I mean, the interesting thing about A Prudent Thief is while people always liked it, it was never a huge, this is our best song kind of song. Yeah. So it never achieved the popularity I expected it to.
Which is why I think it comes out at number 5. But I think it's still.
It's just must say.
I still think that's respectable considering, Mm-hmm. If I Had a Million Ducats, which was also up on this list, did not make the top 5 at all.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, all right, number 4 is Whiskey in the Jar from our CD, A Faire to Remember, which I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid one. So, yeah.
It's a little generic but fun. It's a lively song. A lot of people know it, so it has a recognizability. And it's just a fun kind of song that you would expect to hear in like a pub. So it makes perfect sense for a gaming background song. Yeah, totally. Okay, and number 3, I guess, jump in if we're continuing, is the Mermaid song. And that is that's just a long ass song. So I totally get why that would be on there. It's good background material.
I feel like that'd be a good background for a game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very repetitive, kind of sort of almost a round kind of feel to it, although it's not. And it really, it is very recognizable, and a lot of people love the song. Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm a little burnt out on it because I play it every single Faire day, and I have for I don't know how many years. So that's one of those that everybody plays all the time. So it's so long and repetitive. I usually feel like I'm in the band at graduation in high school playing Pomp and Circumstance again and again and again. It gets that way. But
I can't say that I'm burnt out on it anymore. There's definitely a period when I was like, I am never playing. Well, I mean, when we first heard it, it was like, I'm never playing that song. And then we made our own version. I liked it. And then I was like, okay, I'm done with it. And now I'm like, I really still enjoy it.
Came back around. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That may happen to me because I know this year at the Louisiana Ren Faire at the end of Day Jam, we're not playing it for the first time ever.
What?
I know. Different musicians are here, and it's just we're doing different stuff. And
it's over. I'm done with that Faire, man.
So yeah. I mean, I think having this time off might actually get me back into the Mermaid song.
Fair enough.
Pro column. Yeah, we'll go.
Good.
So I'm hoping. I think I just needed a little time away from it, and we're good. So yeah, but it is a good song. It really is. It's fun, and people get to sing along, and it is very repetitive. So it's the perfect kind of beer drinking song in that respect.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, and number 2, we have Ring of Hope.
An original song. Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
I'm very pleased with that. And I could see that, though I feel like, I mean, certainly, it's about hobbits or halflings in the D&D world. But I feel like, though, that would be one of those songs that I'd be like, can you pause the game a sec? I just want to enjoy the music. I don't know. I don't know if that's just me, but
No. It's a lovely song. Very lovely. And it's one of those things where you'd have to turn it down a little bit to make it background. Yeah. Because otherwise, I think you're right. You want to hear it. But if you turn it down a little, I can see it as a background, lovely kind of ballady song for travel music kind of thing. Yeah, sure. I can see that as working there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it's a really pretty song. One of these days, we're going to do a story for it for our patrons section. In fact, by the way, speaking of that, we did do something. We talked about the most influential non-Ren Faire song that influenced us at Ren Fairs for our patrons. And if you want to join the patrons on our Nagians Only Club on Patreon, you can find a link in the show notes at bardbootlegs.com or thebards.net. So make sure you do that as well. But yeah, we talk about some more of that, so you'll find out more about it. All right. You ready, Andrew?
Number 1.
No, drum roll. Oh, sorry, I was getting the drum rolls.
I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Drum. Okay, go ahead.
No, I wasn't ruining it. I was just explaining how I was going to make an exclamation.
Oh. I think that's a great selection, though. Exclamations is a great selection for it. Yeah,
it is very fantasy and corny kind of song, and it works great. I mean, it talks about the dragons and the king and, all that. I mean, it works well for gaming. I honestly, I never really thought about it as a gaming song, but now that it's on this list, I'm like, like, duh, no joke. I mean, of course it is. Yeah. I never would have thought, but no. Thanks for letting me know about that, because I wouldn't have put it on the list.
I think really good choice. And the song who was that written by? That was written by Boogie Nights.
Yes.
Do you know which Boogie Night wrote that song?
Oh gosh, I'm not 100% sure now off the top of my head. Yeah. It's been a while.
We heard it years ago at I think probably at Icon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just a great song. We immediately had to cover it.
Icon is a convention in New York State.
Yeah, right.
Long Island,
was past tense and sadly.
Yeah. Well, things. The shows come and go.
Yeah. So, but yes, great song for your D&D campaign. So you can find links to all those songs and where you can buy them or listen to them on streaming at our show notes at bardbootlegs.com.
So do you have a problem with the list, Mark?
No, I think it's a good list. Again, I was a little surprised, like if I had a million ducats didn't make it.
Right.
And honestly, I don't remember what else was on the list, but that's about the only one that really struck me. I was like, honestly, Dragons and Virgins. Okay, do Virgins taste better?
Okay, yeah, that's a little. Honestly, this comes across as a list that people really thought about, as opposed to just chose their favorite songs.
Exactly, and I agree with that. Yeah, which is one of the things I like about it too, as well.
Yeah. Very good.
And is that a product of ranked choice voting, or?
Or do we just have really intelligent listeners? I don't know. Maybe both.
A little of both. You should also, while you're at, you should also go look up ranked choice voting if you get a chance, because it is a really fascinating thing. And there are places, like as I said, there are some local areas that are starting to add ranked choice voting into their system. It also, the other great thing about it apparently is you can use it to get rid of the primaries, which primaries are all about being extremist. So boom, take that out. Remove that out of the system. All right, I don't have some news, but Andrew has some really big news that's very important, and we are so excited to share this news with you. Because
yes, this is very important.
Take it away, Andrew.
Okay. Eat more bran.
Eat more what?
I couldn't resist. Sorry.
I could use a little bit more bran in my diet.
Yeah, everybody could. And I just think it's important news to get out there, really.
Thank you, Andrew. Have a great evening. We love you, Cleveland.
Yes, my new CD. Andrew McKee, the Irish Bard, is all finalized and ready to go. So check that out on Bandcamp.
And so now on Bandcamp, we will have a link in the show notes for that. So tell me a little bit about the CD. First off, I know you have a really cool cover. It's a brand new cover, which I think is a really great.
Which is funny because I was going through pictures trying to find a good cover, and I was like, no, nothing's going to work. And all of the pictures were they were either very portrait, or very landscape, and if you tried to make it a square, they wouldn't work for a CD, and it was tough. Yeah. But this one, I was like, oh, that's not going to work. After going through 50 different pictures, and I looked at it, I was like, nah, it's not going to work. And then I just made it a square, and I was like, oh my God, that actually looks better than it did before. It really floored me. After so much disappointment, it was nice to have that just luckily happened. And honestly, total luck. I really like the cover. It's a picture of me at the Louisiana Ren Fair. Being a standard goofball that I am. Standing there, and believe it or not, the sign that says Andrew McKee, the Irish Bard, not digital. That was a real sign that the picture was taken of.
Cool.
So pretty cool.
And the music. Tell me about the music.
Oh, there's music. Definitely music.
That's so useful, man. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Yeah. It has.
Speaking of which, before I get started, I have some of your CDs. I need to send them to you, or did I already mail them to you? I don't remember. I think I was going to mail you some CDs because I think I took some at the when we went to ALEP, when we met up at ALEP. Opening boxes, like, okay, so apparently I forgot these.
Oh, well, if you did, I mean, if you mailed them while I'm not at home, so good luck. Okay.
Touché.
But a lot of different songs that you would hear me play, and they are, I'm really happy about it. I think it's a good CD to just kind of show the range. Future CDs, I think, are going to be more specific and geared towards a particular theme. But this one, I thought it was important to just have, if you go to one of my shows, this is kind of what you're going to see. Awesome. You're going to hear. And I thought that was an important thing.
What are your, do you got favorite tracks?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm always partial to Bog Down in the Valley. I think that's a good one because with Bog Down in the Valley, I never know how where it's going to go, if it's going to how clean it's going to be, how interesting or fun. It's always a crapshoot. You never know. I mean, it's just you just go with it and do your best. And I was really happy with how that take came out. So I really love that. So yeah, proud of that one. And Orange and Green, I really like that one. That was
cool.
I really like the version of Orange and Green. And yeah, I mean, a few different. I mean, generally, I'm happy with it all. It's a few instrumentals, mostly vocal. And yeah, it's just, I think it's a good mix. Like I said, Do you have some original songs on there? Oh yeah. Oh, totally. I like Satisfied and The Path. Yeah, totally. Okay. Cool. But I tried to say like, okay, you go to one of my shows at a fair or an Irish festival or whatever, you will probably get the music from this CD. That was my approach. A good mix. But yeah, like next CD I'm working on is all instrumental dance CD of great dance tunes. But this, I think, it's a good first CD, a good thing to kind of get a feel for what I do and who I am.
All right. And where can people buy that?
They can do it at Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. Woohoo. So, and that's the Irish Bard, or is it Irish Bard or the Irish Bard at Bandcamp?
Oh, let me check that real quick. I think it's
Irish Bard, isn't it?
I think it's Irish Bard, but let me check. You got me all. Okay. No, it's the Irish Bard.
The Irish Bard. Yep.
.bandcamp.com.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to play a track from that. Which one do you want to put in the show? You want to do a Bog or a different one?
Wow, that's a good question. Actually, if you want, we can put in Bog. That works fine.
All right. Well, we will finish up the show with Bog Down in the Valley. So thank y'all so much for listening. And again, go buy that album so that, you can support Andrew's music. And to say, hey, I want you to release more music, Andrew, more music. And meantime, y'all have a great day, evening, week, life. Sláinte.
Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Well, in that bog there was a tree, a rattling tree with a tree in the bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Well, on that tree there was a limb, a rare limb, a rattling limb with a limb in the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Well, on that limb there was a branch, a rare branch, a rattling branch with a branch in the limb and a limb in the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Well, on that branch there was a twig, a rare twig, a rattling twig with a twig in the branch and the limb and the limb and the tree in the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Well, on that twig there was a nest, a rare nest, a rattling nest with a nest in the twig and the branch and the limb and the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Well, in that nest there was an egg, a rare egg, a rattling egg with an egg in the nest and the twig and the branch and the limb and the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Well, in that egg there was a bird, a rare bird, a rattling bird with a bird and the egg and the nest and the twig and the branch and the limb and the tree and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Way ho, the rattling bog and the bog down in the valley, oh. Well, on that bird there was a feather, a rare feather, a rattling feather, the feather and the bird, and the bird, the egg, of the nest, and the twig, and the twig, and the branch, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh. Well, on that feather there was a flea, a rare flea, a rattling flea, with a flea, and the feather, and the feather, and the bird, the egg, of the nest, and the twig, and the branch, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh. On that flea there was an eye, a rare eye, a rattling eye, and the flea, and the feather, and the bird, the egg, of the nest, and twig, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh. On that eye there was a gleam, a rare gleam, a rattling gleam, the eye, and the flea, and the feather, and the bird, the egg, of the nest, and twig, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, and the bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the buck down in the valley, oh. On that gleam there was a world, the gleam, the eye, and the flea, and the feather, and the bird, the egg, of the nest, and twig, of the branch, limb, and the tree, and the bog, buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, buck down in the valley, oh. And on that world there was a bard, a rare bard, an Irish bard. What in the world, the gleam, of the eye, and the flea, and the feather, and the bird, the egg, the nest, and twig, of the branch, and limb, and the tree, and the bog, buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and buck down in the valley, oh, way, hole, a rattling bog, and the bog down in the valley, oh, yeah.
The Brobdingnagian Bards podcast is produced by Celt Father Mark Gunn and Andrew McKee, the Irish Bard. Sign up to our mailing list to download free MP3s and get monthly updates of what's new. Find it all at thebards.net.